offering our collective salutations to the Almighty, revered elders, devotees from across the globe, staff and students, a very good morning and welcome to the One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. Like the meeting of the mountains and the sea, Croatia unfolds as a land where nature's splendor and human spirit coexist in seamless harmony. Cradled by the azure waters of the Adriatic, Croatia is a mosaic of timeless beauty, from the ancient walls of Dubrovnik, fondly called the Pearl of the Adriatic, to the tranquil lakes of Plitvice, where waterfalls sing nature's eternal hymn. Its cobbled streets, medieval towns, and sun-kissed islands speak of a heritage shaped by courage, artistry, and grace. Croatia's people embody warmth, perseverance, and creativity, preserving their deep-rooted traditions while embracing the winds of modern progress. Through their music, folklore, and heartfelt hospitality, they remind the world that true beauty lies in unity amidst diversity. In the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, Croatia stands as a radiant example of how history, nature, and humanity can come together to create a song of peace, pride, and enduring harmony. As part of the Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, it is our honor to welcome Mr. Dario and Ms. Ines, who are the founders of Atma, the largest and most trusted independent media platform for spirituality and personal development across Croatia and the Balkans, reaching nearly 500,000 people. Together since 1996, they have lived a life deeply rooted in spirituality, devotion, and service. Mr. Dario, Atma's CEO, producer, and manager, oversees its operations, while Ms. Ines serves as its public face, podcast host, and visionary force behind many initiatives. Through Atma, they have created an inclusive spiritual space that inspires, connects, and uplifts seekers of all paths. Their spiritual journey began in early 1990s with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, where they lived monastic lives and received Harinama and Gayatri initiations from His Holiness Srila Sachidananda Maharaj. Upon initiation, they were given the spiritual names Dharma Guptas and Krishna Jivani Devi Dasi. Ms. Ines was first drawn to Vedic philosophy through the writings of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, which inspired her to leave a successful music career in 1995 and dedicate herself to Bhakti Yoga, serving as a missionary in war-affected regions of Croatia and Bosnia. Mr. Dario embraced the Bhakti path in 1993, living as a monk engaged in study, meditation, kirtan, and service in similar regions. What began in 2012 as a simple website, atma.hr, has evolved into the region's leading spiritual media platform built on dedication, perseverance, and the vision to make spiritual wisdom accessible beyond traditional boundaries. Today, Atma's reach extends to hundreds of thousands through its online content and popular YouTube podcast featuring over 300 renowned teachers and spiritual leaders from the Balkans and beyond. The couple has also distributed over 3,000 copies of Bhagavad Gita, continuing their mission to spread Vedic knowledge and light across the Balkans. Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming Mr. Dario and Ms. Ines.
All glories to the divine, to the saints, sages, and the awakened ones who have walked before us, and to every soul gathered here today, drawn by love and a shared longing to serve. Standing in Mother India is like standing within the very breath of creation. Here spirituality isn't studied, it is lived. We are humbled to be here representing Croatia in this sacred One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. To us, this is not just a ceremony, it is a living reminder of what humanity truly is when it awakens to love.
Thank you, Dario. Namaste. We offer our heartfelt respect to Sri Madhusudan Sai, whose life itself is living proof of what love and service can do. We thank to Sri Madhusudan Sai Global Humanitarian Mission and the Prashanti Balamandir Trust. We also like to thank our Croatian friends and our friends from Serbia who also came here. Janica, Borna, Ivica, our talented musicians who will play for you this evening. And to all those who work silently behind the scenes, because most often in life, the most sacred service is done behind the scenes. Nobody knows about it but the one person, and it is God, and that's what matters the most.
So, we are Ines and Dario, simple human beings. We are husband and wife and the parents of our wonderful boy Aryan, who is sitting right there, who is here with us. We are companions on a long path of learning. For over 3 decades, life has been our teacher. Truth was our compass and service is our prayer. Our Dharma led us to create Atma. It is the largest independent online media platform in Croatia dedicated to spirituality, personal growth, and holistic health. Atma, as you know, is a Sanskrit word for the soul, the eternal spark of consciousness within each one of us, a silent witness that journeys through lifetimes, learning, evolving, and yearning to return to its divine source. Atma project began as a simple intention to share wisdom that heals, not as scholars, but just merely as seekers. Over the years, that intention became a living community, hundreds of thousands reading and watching, reflecting, and rediscovering what it really means to be a human.
In our work, we have chosen to focus on what we believe is one of the highest forms of charity, and that is awakening of the soul. Why? Well, we have come to realize that spiritual forgetfulness, spiritual amnesia, is the root cause of all human suffering, and that true revolution should be done through consciousness, not through the arms or whatever. It is kind of spiritual, not revolution, but the evolution. That's our focus. Because when people remember who they are, remember their divine origin, divine nature, compassion naturally arises. Harmony is restored, and true service becomes effortless. By the grace of God, our Atma now reaches over 500,000 people in Balkans, and you know Balkans are very small, so it's a big number there. And through our websites, YouTube channel, social media, physical center in Split, and Bhagavad Gita distributing campaign. Our mission is to inspire, to support and connect individuals on their unique inner journeys, offering knowledge, offering community, and light to every seeker.
For us, true spiritual seeker is not the one who believes, but the one who questions things deeply. Such a person does not seek miracle, but becomes the miracle through knowledge, sincerity, humility, truthfulness, dedication, and compassion. Our journey began in the early 90s, a time of war in our region and deep suffering, when many hearts were searching for peace, meaning, and hope. At that time, I was only a student in college, and Ines was something quite different. She was a rock singer.
Yes, I was a rock singer. You can maybe see it by my voice. My life was filled with music, with stages, entertainment. But deep inside, my heart was restless. I was only 17. I was looking for something. I didn't know what I was looking for. But one day, one of my friends gave me a small book written by or compiled teachings of Sathya Sai Baba. I still remember the day. And I thought, wow, this wisdom, this is what I was looking for. I don't even remember the name of the small book, but it changed my course of my life. I was like a different person. From that point, the rock, the rock life didn't make much sense. So I remembered something I already knew in my heart. It was kind of sleeping, but now it came back. At that time, I also realized it was time of war in our country, that the peace we are seeking in outer world could only be found within. So the only way out is within.
So our path led us to Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, to chanting mantras, discipline, and humility. For years, we lived as monastics in ISKCON, serving and studying. We learned the art of surrender, the power of knowledge, the freedom of simplicity, and the joy of silence. That is where we met. We were monks, me and her. We were serving together, and when we got to know each other a little bit better, we got married, and our ashram became our home. Every task, from Atma to raising our son to maintaining household, became seva, a chance to serve the divine.
This is what I know. Spirituality isn't confined to temples, to ashrams, to monasteries, to libraries, to some brahmanas, some people. But it's meant to spill into streets, into homes, into lives of us, everyday people. Spirituality is also not a belief system, or we are not looking for some miracles. It is the science of consciousness and science of devotion to God, sincere devotion to God, who is one for all. Since we got married, it was a long time ago, 29 years, alongside this Atma media project, we organized hundreds of spiritual gatherings and concerts. You might ask, what? Concerts? Yes. Because music was such a big part of our lives, both mine and also Dario's, it became natural for us to also express our devotion, our creativity through music. So in 2010, we started Mantra Fusion Band. It was a bridge between East and West, combining sacred mantras with world music, contemporary sounds. It was quite a unique project because we used 15 instruments, also sitar, tampura, tabla, mridanga, but guitar, bass guitar, some djembas. And it was really nice because we used the Balkan rhythms, and so people were very much naturally attracted to the music, and we gave them spiritual sounds of mantras. So it was quite unique.
So since we've been doing a lot of different stuff for over 30 years, we can call it a path. You know, we had some path. So there are also some lessons learned along the way. So life is a journey, and the destination is not so important as the experiences and the lessons we learn along the way. Pain taught us humility, failure taught us surrender, success taught us gratitude. The ego resists these lessons, but the soul eternally celebrates them. Humanity's greatest suffering is not material, but spiritual. It is forgetfulness, forgetting that we are divine beings, merely playing temporary roles. When we live as a body, we live in fear. When we live as a soul, we live in freedom.
Thank you, Dario. Wonderful. Every soul has come here for ultimately one purpose. And that purpose is to remember their divine nature, divine origin, and maybe return eventually back home, back to Godhead. And everything what happens along that path happens for a reason. Everything is a lesson. So when life feels heavy, and it often does, we must always remember that we are not being punished. We are being polished. We are being prepared. Every spiritual tradition whispers the same truth, that the essence of God is always thinking on God, surrendering unto Him in pure devotion. and dedicating our mind, our body, our soul in serving his mission. That's what Krishna teaches Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, the ultimate lesson. How to attain pure love of God, pure Ananda. It is the thing we are all searching for. Just remember God with faith and love. Always think of God. Be humble. In this state of consciousness, one can attain supreme.
Atma platform became and was born from this awakening. We started with only enthusiasm and one laptop. We believe that even one person found light through our work, it would be worth everything. Soon messages began arriving. You helped me through tough loss. Your writing brought me peace. I never felt that spirituality could feel this close. So each of these messages reminded us that God moves in mysterious ways. And we are not the doers, we are only instruments. About 5 years ago, we started with our YouTube channel. In addition to motivational and educational content, Atma YouTube channel began publishing some of the most watched podcasts on spirituality and personal development in the whole Balkan region, featuring both local and international guests. Very quickly, mysteriously, our channel grew to 50 million views. I can't even read this number. A living proof that if you truly believe in your mission and in hard work, no matter how small your beginnings may be, with the help of God, miracles do happen. In October last year, we opened an Atma Center, like this, but much smaller. And that is created as a sanctuary for the soul, a place where people can come together for workshops, kirtans, spiritual talks, to deepen their understanding, open their hearts, connect with like-minded souls, and reconnect with their inner light. In our digital era of artificial intelligence, physical places of gathering have become more valuable than ever.
Yeah, that's true. We are especially excited about our newest project. It's called Atma Veda. It is dedicated to Vedic wisdom, spiritual practices, and community. Atma Veda covers all topics of Vedic philosophy and culture, including philosophy, of course, Bhakti, Sankhya, Vedanta, Yoga, Ayurveda, Jyotish, Vastu, and so on. Our vision is to build a living and connected community of individuals dedicated to learning, practicing, and sharing Vedic wisdom, because we think that Sanatana Dharma is universal, is our original, it's in our heart. We just need to awaken it, and we are doing our best in this direction. Do you know that Bhagavad Gita is very popular in Southeastern Europe? So, over the last few years, Atma has distributed more than 4,000 copies of Bhagavad Gita, and also Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita for Everyone, which is our own Atma edition. It's like an introduction to Bhagavad Gita to many, many people, Croatian-speaking, not only Croatian-speaking, like all ex-Yugoslavia-speaking people. And they're really respecting it. They're really looking forward. They're asking questions about it. It's not like just they get it and nothing. They really are very much interested. So it is important to say that in our work, we remained truly independent. We are independent from any political and institutional influence. We are truly independent. So our purpose is very simple: to share knowledge, to share spiritual knowledge, to offer support, to create community of like-minded people, seekers of truth and love. For in today's world, truth itself has become revolutionary.
Yeah, so not to be just words, the important thing is seva, or self-service. It is the bridge between knowledge and realization. There is no giver or receiver, only grace moving through two hands. When service is done With this spirit, it becomes worship. It becomes yoga in its truest sense, unity with God.
Thank you. So this word Atma in Sanskrit, soul, reminds us that we are not these temporary forms. We are not this body, this mind. We are eternal beings just passing through this world to learn, to love, and to grow. Our mission is to make spiritual wisdom very clear and simple, practical, and accessible to everyone who looks to find something, to bring ancient truths into modern life, to show that true spirituality is really not a belief system, it's the science of consciousness. The wonderful phrase, I really like it, the world is one family, is more than a phrase, a poetry. It is prophecy. It is the highest expression of truth. Because if we look deeply, we see that all conflict begin with one word, mine. This is mine, my religion, my country, my nation, my race. But soul has nothing of that. Soul has not nationality. It transcends all boundaries of race, gender, faith, culture. It is the essence that connects us beyond all identities we were born into. Imagine just if every child grew up not hearing this is yours and this is mine, but we belong to each other, this is ours. Peace would not have to be thought, it would arise naturally.
We live in an extraordinary age. Humanity can send rockets to Mars, but still struggles to find peace at home. We can connect across continents in seconds, yet forget to connect with the person beside us. People are surrounded by so much information, yet they are starved for wisdom. We have comfort, but no peace. Entertainment, but no real joy. Freedom, but no meaning. The Bhagavad Gita gives us a formula for peace that no technology can replicate. One who knows God as a friend and a well-wisher of all beings attains peace. True peace begins with a conscious surrender to God and His divine will. It doesn't arise from political agreements, but from the quiet revolution within the human heart.
Thank you. Peace is not passive, it's daily practice. It means choosing God's will, remembering that I am not the doer, I am not controller. It is being detached from the results I wish to achieve, choosing to listen before I react, choosing to forgive, to stop judging, and to serve before we seek recognition. And when one person chooses peace, it doesn't stay with them, it radiates. That is why we are all here today, to remember that one person can make huge difference, because that one person is never alone. God is everywhere and in everyone's heart, and He smiles when He sees every kind act done with selfless love. Spirituality. So people often ask us, what is this spirituality? I'm spiritual. I say it's a life. Spirituality is not something you do aside when you have some spare free time. No, it's what you do in every moment of your life. It's life lived mindfully, truthfully, consciously.
So the world is full of problems. In our life, we can face also many problems. But we cannot solve the problems with the same thinking that created them. That's important. The real root is the consciousness itself. And the only true solution is a shift, a change of the very way we see and we think. That is where spirituality begins. We need to change our inner attitude from what's in it for me to how can I serve. When we seek happiness only for ourselves, it will always slip away. But when we wish it for others, we will find it within ourselves as well. No one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Transformation doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means removing all that we are not. When we shed fear, pride, and judgment, what remains is pure love and soul's natural state. And when we live from that love, the mundane becomes sacred, work becomes worship, home becomes temple, and every breath becomes like a prayer.
Humanity now is standing at the turning point. We have explored, or we're trying to explore, outer universe. We try to go to Mars. But now we must explore inner universe. The next revolution is not going to be technical, it's going to be spiritual. Every tradition points to this. Some call it Krishna consciousness, others call it Christ consciousness, Buddha nature, Atma Jnana, Bhakti, Moksha, enlightenment, ascension. The essence is the same, to divine and to awaken divine within us and around us. When this awakening spreads, science and spirituality will walk hand in hand as they should.
This is also what I believe to be the mission of One World, One Family. It's not just to build buildings, but to build consciousness, to create a world where leaders lead through service. And this is really what we can see here, where success means significance, and where compassion becomes culture. Love is the universal language. Let us speak it in every school, every hospital, and parliament. Let us speak it in silence through our own actions, through our gaze, through our care.
And let us remember, we are not strangers meeting here. We are souls reunited. We have known each other before. That is why this message seems so familiar. Brilliant Vedanta Sutra begins with this aphorism, Adhato Brahma Jigyasa. Now, therefore, let us inquire about the absolute truth. In ancient Greece, the sages used this term, this phrase, know thyself. It is carved in the stone in Delphi, where the oracle Pythia was living. It is the same timeless teaching. Whether east or west, the journey inward is universal. Anyone who sincerely seeks spiritual truth has already achieved. Everyone who seeks is already achieving the highest success in life. Although we are just travelers here, passing through, what we do in this life right now is very, very important. Maybe you know what Marcus Aurelius said. It was in a movie, Gladiator. I don't know if you watched this movie, but he said a very powerful point. What we do in life echoes in eternity. Wonderful.
Yes, it's really wonderful. There's also a saying which I really like. If you sacrifice temporary for eternal, we lose. If you sacrifice eternal for temporary, we lose both. So let us take a moment of silence, a single breath, to feel the pulse of love that connects us all. May every child grow knowing they are loved. May every woman walk in safety and dignity. May every elder be honored as a guide from we can learn something. May every soul remember its divine origin.
If we wish for peace, we must live peace. If we wish for love, we must become love. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Peace is not something we find. It is something we create moment by moment. Standing in this sacred land of sages, we accept this facilitation not as an award, but as a call to serve more, to live our true human potential, to love deeper in full bliss, in full ananda. To Mother India, we bow down. Thank you for protecting the light of Sanatana Dharma, of spiritual science through millennia.
And to every soul present, to our brothers and sisters, children and elders, thank you for walking beside us on this path of awakening. Let us keep building a world where God's love reigns, where kindness is common, compassion is currency, and truth is tradition. May love conquer fear, may wisdom conquer ignorance, may unity triumph over division. And may every being remember we are not many, we are just one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were wonderful. Thank you.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Dario and Ms. Ines for sharing their wisdom with all of us this morning. Now, may we invite Professor Sri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend our token of gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Dario and Ms. Ines. Now we shall have a short break and reconvene for Satya Darpan.
जय जय गजानना गणनाथा जय जय गजानना गणनाथा जय जय गजानना गणनाथा जय जय गजानना गणनाथा गौरी नंदन हे गणनाथा
पतीश्वरी जगज्जननी जय हे साई जननी
साई जननी जय जय हे साई जननी
पतीश्वरी जग जननी जय 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 हे साई जननी पतीश्वरी जग जननी वेद कलामयी देवी भवानी नाद विद्यामयी नारायणी करुणा सदनी करुणामयी शरणं शरणं साई जय 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 हे साई जननी जय 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 हे साई जननी पतीश्वरी जग जननी
साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा
साईश्वरा
साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा परमेश्वरा पतीश्वरा परमेश्वरा पतीश्वरा साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा करुणामया जगन्मोहना करुणामया जगन्मोहना शैलेश्वरा भुवनेश्वरा शैलेश्वरा भुवनेश्वरा कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा परमेश्वरा पतीश्वरा साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा करुणामया जगन्मोहना शैलेश्वरा भुवनेश्वरा कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा
कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा
कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा
कैलासनाथ महेश्वरा
साईश्वरा जगदीश्वरा
सद्गुरु साई सरस्वती सद्गुरु साई सरस्वती सद्गुरु साई सरस्वती सद्गुरु साई सरस्वती ब्रह्मदेव सती भारती ब्रह्मदेव सती भारती ब्रह्मदेव सती भारती
साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीरा,
यीशु बुद्ध महावीर,
नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीरा,
यीशु बुद्ध महावीर।
सब है साई भगवान। सब है साई भगवान। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु
नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीरा,
यीशु बुद्ध महावीर।
सब है साई भगवान।
सब है साई भगवान।
जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान।
हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभु राम।
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण,
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण,
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण,
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण।
तू है ईसा मसीह ओ साई बाबा
है ईसा मसीहा ओ साई बाबा
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण
दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण
धर्म उद्धारण भक्त परायण
धर्म उद्धारण भक्त परायण
आदि नारायण साई
नारायण साई
अलख निरंजन भव भय भंजन
अलख निरंजन भव भय भंजन
पति नारायण साई
पति नारायण साई
पति नारायण साई
पति नारायण साई दीन दुखियों के तारण कारण
जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो 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 जय गोविंद जय गोपाल जय महादेव 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 नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो अभय प्रदाता विश्वविदाता अभय प्रदाता विश्वविदाता जगदोद्धार नमो जगदोद्धार नमो जय शिरडीशा जय परतीशा जय परमेश नमो जय शिरडीशा जय परतीशा जय परमेश नमो जय शिरडीशा जय परतीशा जय परमेश नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय जय शुभदायि नमो
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations at the lotus feet of our Master, Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai. Revered elders, devotees from across the globe, staff and students, a very good morning and welcome to Satya Darpan. Sadguru, in his last discourse, emphasized that knowledge, when shared selflessly, only multiplies and never diminishes. He began chapter 15 of the Ashtavakra Gita by reinforcing that a pure and steadfast mind is essential on the path of spirituality. Sadguru then explained the second shloka, which is Moksho Vishaya Vairasyam Bandho Vaishayiko Rasaha Etavadeva Vijnanam Yathechasi Tatha Kuru. Sage Ashtavakra tells King Janaka that liberation lies in dispassion and disgust towards sense objects, while bondage is the attachment to their taste. This alone is the essence of knowledge. Therefore, act as you wish. Sadguru further explained the nature of Brahman as Raso Vaisaha, meaning the truest essence is the divine. Hence, one must cultivate a longing desire for him like the Chataka bird, which quenches its thirst only with the first drop of rain and never compromises for anything less. Sadguru concluded with a firm conviction that only those endowed with Sattvika Buddhi and Tivra Mumukshutva will persevere in this noble mission, and therefore each one of us must strive to develop depth in spirituality. We now pray to Sadguru to bless us all with his divine discourse on the Ashtavakra Gita.
सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शांति शांति शांति.
As I had mentioned earlier, that Ashtavakra Samhita or Ashtavakra Gita was not written on a single day or was not something that was a continuous, spontaneous speech or conversation between Ashtavakra and Janaka. It must have been a compilation of several conversations over several periods of time. And much of it could also have been added by the others who read this, and they added their own thoughts. So that is how it has become a very large text. But originally it might not have been this long. Just like Bhagavad Gita, it's not supposed to be this long as it is understood 700 shlokas, because it's practically impossible to speak 700 shlokas of all kinds of natures on a battlefield. Similarly, even Mahabharata, which has 1 lakh shlokas, even that is considered as something that had evolved over a period of time. So other people, based on time, space, situations and the other circumstances, they have added ideas, thoughts, which are in line with the thoughts. You would see a lot of Upanishads which have shlokas that are similar, though they belong to different Upanishads, but you clearly see that many of those shlokas are very common, and those shlokas are again found in Bhagavad Gita and in other texts. So also here also you will hear some of these words or shlokas that are similar to Bhagavad Gita or other Upanishads. The idea is that the sum total of all the knowledge that the rishis were experiencing, that was expressed as the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, or the Ashtavakra Gita, or similar other texts which are largely focused on Advaitic wisdom, the philosophy of our Vedas. So many people take it more like, by thinking that this is how exactly it was. Every single word has been this way, and there was no other way. Not true. That is why we say you focus on the essence, focus on what is in it for you, which will make you a better person, instead of worrying about all kinds of other details. Most of the time, mind is very interested in details. That is its nature, the intellectual stimulation that they get out of memorizing texts or knowing where the text comes from, what is its origin, who was the rishi, when was it spoken. They remember all kinds of details about the text, but they forget the very essence and to practice the essence. And that's a battle lost, because you are fighting the wrong battle or climbing the wrong ladder. That's what happens to most intellectuals who get into too much of this. That is why our Shankaracharya, Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam, he says. These words are like a forest. The more you accumulate, the more you get confused, because in a dense, dark forest, you just don't know your way out. You get lost and you keep going in circles. So don't focus so much on the number of chapters, how many shlokas per chapter I remember, or what is the number of the chapters that we have studied so far and what is we are going to study. Getting into these details are okay for your academic pursuit or for your intellectual satisfaction, you can have it. But please do not waste your time too much on all these aspects and then get into arguments. It's not necessary. Rather, you focus on the very essence, as Kabir Das says, Poti padi padi jagmua pandit bhayana koi, dhai akar prem ka pade so pandit hoy. A lot of people have read a lot of textbooks, spiritual and otherwise, and they pride themselves as people who have so much of memory or so much of intelligence. But it is of no use if you have not understood this 2.5 letter word in Hindi, which is prema, or the 4-letter LOVE, love. If you haven't understood this, then all this is reading and writing and unnecessary arguing and debating. It's all going to be a big waste, because there is nothing that you'll gain out of it. So don't keep scratching the surface, is all I'm saying. You rather dive deep into the essence. And yes, these chapters will continue like this. Once Ashtavakra would speak, another time Janaka would speak, then Ashtavakra would speak, then Janaka would speak, and it will go on and on like this. And finally, it will reach the final chapter. So many of the thoughts are repetitive, many of the ideas are repetitive, but it is a good revision for us. If you haven't got all of that right in our previous chapters, at least you are getting an opportunity to revise again and rethink of those lofty ideals that Ashtavakra Gita presents in front of us. So even the chapter 15, which is more about same freedom and bondage, it is not a new concept. We have heard about this in the previous chapters too. But here it is being presented once again by Ashtavakra, the Guru. It is for us to revise our learnings. So that is how it has started. And last time he said that even if the disciple is, even if the Guru is not that great, if the disciple is steady and has firm faith, the disciple stands to gain. So even if Guru is not that great, disciple is great, it is good enough. Because as somebody said the other day, I was watching a thing, and that Zakir Hussain Saab, Johu Tabla Wale, he was telling, teacher does not teach, it's the student who learns. So what happens inside a class is, it appears that teacher is teaching, but what really is happening is student is learning. So he changes the entire perspective and puts the onus on the students and not on the teacher. Whatever teacher teaches, irrespective of that, student learns, because student is Shraddhavan. He wants to learn, so he would learn somehow or the other. That's why he says, Yatha Tathopadeshena Krithartha Satya Buddhiman. The one with pure mind, pure intellect, with Shraddha, would learn, even if the truth is spoken of in not such a great way. Somehow or the other, if the discourse is given also, the one who is really of Sattva Buddhi, of purity of mind, such a person would grasp it. He won't take time. Whereas, Ajima Vijnyasu Parastatra Vimuhyate, he says. Even lifelong, if you teach a person who is not interested in it, idle curiosity. Some students are there, they come to the class only to trouble teachers. Their whole plan is that. Ask questions and bother them. There are some like that. They are all these jignasus, unwanted questions, unnecessary discussions, and they try to test the teacher's ability. Some are there like that. So these people don't gain any knowledge. That is what I am saying. Simply reading textbooks out of curiosity, trying to memorize, remember, and collect information, that's not going to lead to anything. That is a waste of effort. If you know it, fine, it's good. If you don't know it, it's okay. Somebody wrote to me, I don't know Sanskritam, I'm not able to remember the shloka, I'm not able to chant them properly. I said, don't worry about it. Have you understood the essence? Have you understood the very meaning of what it is, and are you practicing it? Once you practice it, why do you need to remember the shlokas? But you will appreciate if I remember. Yes, I will appreciate if you remember. But if you don't, I will appreciate more if you don't remember yet you practice. That is what my lookout is. So don't get lost in this forest of words and shlokas. Instead, try to practice at least a little of whatever has been spoken of so far and put it into practice. That is the idea with this Ashtavakra Gita continues, and the second shloka, as she mentioned just now, that he says that the only way of liberation is you develop distaste for the worldly things. Because running away from worldly things is a good idea, but then the thoughts haven't left you. The desire for it hasn't left you. You can at best make yourself distanced, but have you made yourself dispassionate about it? No. Passion is still there inside, lurking somewhere like a thief. And it will again attack when it sees an opportunity. So can you do that is the question. The dispassion from deep inside, it should go away. It takes a while because we are creatures of habit, as I said. Habits. We have developed these over several lifetimes. So knowing this is the way, only when you get rid of that desire for it also from the depth of your being, then only you are free. Otherwise, externally you might look free because you wear a Rudrakshamala, you wear ochre robes, you have no wife, no children, no wealth, no family, no relations, no position, no bank account, no nothing. On the outside, you may look like somebody who has gotten rid of all the things and you have now become free. But deep inside, you still harbor desires for things of the world, which you are still struggling to get rid of, let us say. Then you are not totally free because somewhere you are bound inside. On the outside, you might be free, but on the inside, you are definitely bound. So unless you get rid of the last vestiges of any desire and taste for the world, that lingering taste on the tongue, that craving for it, the desire to enjoy it once again. If you don't get rid of it from that deep, it's not possible. But Bhagavad Gita says the only way to go know is that rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Once you know the truth, all this disappears. Like in a magic show, you just know the illusion. After that, you are not desirous of that magic show. You know its value. Otherwise, you will be running behind it till the end. So once you know the truth, only you can really get rid of the desires from the root. So it's again, as I said, chicken and the egg story. Should I get rid of the desire from the roots, then I will know the truth, or should I know the truth and get rid of the desires? It is, as I said, it is a circle. Start anywhere. Start anywhere. Like yesterday they were mentioning in their culture of Bolivia, they were saying it is like a circle. Life is a circle, or the relationships with everybody is like a circle. The family is a circle. What a wonderful thought. And circle can keep expanding and expanding and expanding and can include more people. But the best part of the circle is that nobody is first and nobody is last. Nobody is in front and nobody is behind. Nobody is leading, nobody is following. Everybody is the same in a circle. That's a beautiful thought. I caught that from there. That circle is a beautiful thought. And in spirituality also, start anywhere. Start by reducing your desires, your truth will become more and more known to you. The more and more you know your truth, the desires will diminish accordingly. So it is a mutual thing. It's a self-fulfilling thing. You have to start somewhere. The idea is to start somewhere. Just sit down and think, oh, where do I start? Well, first let Jnanodaya happen in me. After that, anyway, I'll become desireless and I'll be free. Probably that day will never come because you never even started. Start with reducing your desires, cutting down on your thoughts, and cutting down on your wants, spending time in the company of the right people, engaging your body, mind, and speech in the pursuit of the truth and the noble things. Then some process, some journey has begun somewhere. That is why I have told this, use all these opportunities to serve in the institutions, to read scriptures, to learn about these truths, to stay in the company of right people who also are very desirous of the self, who are only seeking the truth. These are the other support systems that this institution provides the seeker. And that is how it makes the journey faster and easier. Because you watch everybody around you, you get inspired. And so stay in the company of the right people. Satsanga is very important. Without Satsanga, you don't go too far on this path. You may walk a little distance, but ultimately it will fizzle out because you haven't kept the company of the right people. So these are some of the very practical things That Ashtavakra Gita is telling how to go about it. Develop distaste for the world. How do I develop distaste for the world? By knowing the truth of yourself. How do I know the truth of yourself? By staying in the company of the right people and listening to the Guru. But not with just an ordinary mind, but with great Shraddha and purity of mind. Then the words will start making sense to you. Then they will motivate you, inspire you, and stay with you. That is how you slowly, steadily navigate this path and find your way out of this forest of words or samsara and ultimately be able to reach the divine destination. So that is the idea. Start somewhere. But my problem is that, as the next shloka says, people get into too much of activity in the name of seva. No, Swami said, do seva, it will purify your mind. Now seva becomes the purpose for which you are here. Spirituality is forgotten. Seva also becomes karma, like karma kandis are there. Keep doing ritual day after day after. They are never tired of doing rituals. Very sincerely, diligently, with great intensity and with great industry they do it. But at the end, have they understood anything? No. Have they realized the self? No. Only wasted a lot of ghee, firewood and time. But nothing has come out of it because they never did it with the complete involvement to seek the truth. So, chittasya shuddhaye karma, that is true. Natu vastupalabdhaye, says Adi Shankaracharya. Only to purify your mind, karma is required. Selfless actions. But it does not lead you to the realization of the self. Vastu siddhi vicharena na kinchit karma koti bhihi, says in Viveka Chudamadi. Vastu siddhi, achievement of the self happens only through vichara. Vichara is discrimination, analysis, enquiry. That alone leads to this. And na kinchita karma koti bihi, and not because of crores of or millions of activities. Activities are only the beginning, they are not the end of this journey. Because karta bhokta bhav should disappear by the time you realize the self. My problem is that many people get so involved in the activities that they don't pursue the path of spirituality. Why? Because that has become their habit now, a new habit has formed. What is the new habit? We have to do seva from morning till afternoon, evening. Somebody wrote to me, it is difficult for me to focus on both. On one side, you are giving us projects in unrealistic timelines, where which say we have to work all the time and more. And on the other side, you say you should not spend all the time working. You should find time to internalize things and assimilate. I am totally torn between these two ideas. Should I go to work today or should I sit and think about it? I said all these you should have practiced before getting into the work. 2022 is the first time I taught all these things. 21, 22. If you had internalized all this by now, there was no conflict. You could have easily gone to the work, yet your mind is on Brahman. And work would just happen through you without doership and enjoyership. You did not practice all these truths all these years. Now when such a big amount of work has come your way, for which I had already prepared you before, but you did not pay attention then and now you are suffering. Whereas some of them are like this on the other side also, are opposite to this. They are able to undertake all this work without any tension and without any conflict within. Happily they are able to undertake. Yes, sometimes a little shake-up happens because of some challenges, but they are able to undertake the work without any pressure and anxiety. So it depends on what you gained in the last 5 years of your stay here. If from those days of COVID when we learned all these great Upanishads and Ashtavakra and Bhagavad Gita, if you had paid attention to all these things, then today this would not be a conflict in your mind. This would have been a natural flow. But because all that has not been internalized, now you are struggling with conflicts. So what do I do now? You have to spend time a little. You have to allocate or give time to each of these things. You have to time for contemplation and your prayers, also time for work. Since you are not ready fully, so you'll have to do it slowly, gradually. That is what is the advice to those. So if you get all these right, what is going to happen in the future? And you might have to do any amount of work, but you never feel that you are doing the work. Even in the busiest of the days, you are absolutely steady, unruffled, calm, and quiet. Can that happen? Yes, of course it can happen. I have seen it has happened to people. Not to all, but those who really paid attention to this. And those who did not, they are still struggling with the same old things because they were not sattva buddhiman, they were not people with purity of intentions to learn the truth. So why these scriptures are important? Because we will be a highly active organization, there is no doubt about it. And it's very clearly defined for all of you that you have a role of missionary only. Today maybe young students, boys, girls or whoever. Tomorrow you have to grow up and take up the responsibilities. At that time you can't come and complain to me that you are giving too much of activity. Where is the spirituality in this? I said you did not learn it right. You didn't pay attention. In Hindi we used to joke, जब भगवान अकल बांट रहे थे तो तुम सो रहे थे. We used to tell to classmates who were not very intelligent. When God was distributing brains, were you sleeping? Where were you that time? You can't understand a thing like that. When I was teaching Ashtavakra Gita and when I taught all the Upanishads, where were you? You did not catch the essence. And that is why you are struggling now. Otherwise, it will become a smooth ride. Things will, of course, as I said, if you are riding in a boat, waves are there, it will go up and down. But you are in the boat, you will cross over. So that idea is what is coming next in this shloka. In 194, page number 194, the third shloka says, Vagmi pragya mahodyogam janam muka jadalasam karoti tattva bodhoyam atastyakto bubukshabhihi. Now this bubukshubhi, who are these bubukshus? They are opposite of mumukshus. Mumukshus are desirous of liberation. Bubukshus are desirous of bhoga or enjoyments of the world. So what is their nature? They are hyperactive. Vag means speech. Prajna means thinking. Maha Udyoga means activities with the work. It means with body, mind and speech. These are the things, karma, vacha, manasa. So these people are all the time speaking, all the time thinking, all the time doing something. They can't sit quiet. They are hyperactive. Even they may give justifications that I am only doing seva, but they are hyperactive. That is their nature driving them. They are hyper rajasic people. They are not sattvic buddhi people. They are rajasic buddhi people. So they'll keep doing and they'll justify it also that I am doing it for your sake. It is your seva. It is what I said, yes, that's not wrong, but that's the beginning, not the end. So these people were desirous of some activity, some passion, some outcomes. What do? All the time they put their speech, their mind and their body to tremendous work. But what does this tattva bodhoyam, this tattva bodha means this knowledge of the self, what does it do to them? Muka jadalasam, it makes them dumb and inert. Not from the point of view of lazy. They are not lazy, but they will do only what is really necessary, not unnecessary doing things, just to keep themselves busy and feel I have been very productive all day. That productivity is of no use because it doesn't lead them anywhere. They are running in circles. But they are nevertheless busy. Being busy does not mean you are being productive. One can be busy doing wasteful things also. It doesn't lead to anything. But these desires of worldly enjoyments, whose kick comes from actions and the outcomes, who want to be seen, known, recognized for all their hyperactivity and whatever they call as productivity, when they come to know of this truth, it reverses their nature. It changes them into what? Into people who become quiet, as if they don't have a tongue, as if they are dumb. They have a tongue, but they don't like to speak too much. So Muka means dumb people who do not have the ability to speak. They become like that, it seems. Not that they cannot speak, but they speak sparingly because they realize what is there to go on speaking like this, unnecessary chattering like this. So they become quiet. And jada means inert. Nothing affects them. As if they are made of stone. The other ones are hyper, like mercurial. They'll shoot up like this and go down like that. In one moment they are hyper excited, in another moment they are totally depressed. One moment they are angry, the other moment they are absolutely peaceful. They are unpredictable, these bubukshus. So the opposite of that is jada, total steadiness. As if nothing happens. You tell them good things, they are same. You tell them bad things, they are same. Something good happens, they are same. Something bad happens, they are same. As if they are a piece of stone. Jada. Inert, like matter, not like humans. So they become muka, dumb, jada, inert, like a stone or a matter, and alasam. And as if they are lazy, inactive. They become inactive. Now this sounds antithetic to all that we have learned so far. No, you have to work hard, you must speak well, you must be responsive, you must respond properly. All these things we have been taught. So they do all that, but they do it in such a sparing way that they almost appear to be dumb, inert, and lazy. One can easily misunderstand them and mistake them for dumb, inert, and lazy people as compared to those worldly ones who are hyperactive, hyper vocal, and hyper thinkers. Continuously they keep thinking. So what happens when you see a jnani, and that is the confusion. Last time we remember dhabrantasya eva dasha. They look like deluded and people who are unfit or who are of no use. They are like useless people. The world looks at them like that. But they don't seem to be doing anything much. They don't seem to speak anything much. They don't seem to react or respond. They're like dumb, inert, and dull. This is the way of the world. They think of them like that, but they are not like that. They have just reduced the unnecessary speech, unnecessary activity, and unnecessary thinking, that's all. They're still thinking what is necessary, they're still doing what is necessary, they're still undertaking whatever is required to be undertaken, but not overtly doing it like those hyper-rajasic, desirous people of the world. So there is a big difference. That is why I am trying to draw the line, because sometimes you might be the hyperactive, desirous of the world, but you will dub it as spiritual service. But it may not be true, because you know what is going on inside you. Be hyperactive, but nothing should move inside you, like you are a piece of stone. Is that the way you are acting in the world? Okay, then you are a jnani. But no, everything is shaking inside, outside, and all around you. And then you say, I am a jnani. No, you are not. You are not doing seva with the spiritual bent of mind. That seva is stirring everything inside you and making you restless. Then that is not spiritual service, that is action. It may be called as service because it is being done in a charitable organization, but it is pure, gross, outcome-oriented action only which will bind you. Don't overestimate or don't justify it or don't misinterpret as, oh, this is all seva. I ran morning 6 o'clock, I got up, I went till 12 o'clock in the night, I went 10 places, I did this, that. I must be blessed for this. I would say yes, but were you steady on the inside while you did everything? No, first they accepted, so I was very happy. Next time they rejected, I was angry. Third time I went disappointed, they wasted whatever I did. Then you did not do any service, you only did actions, which you are trying to pass it off as a good service activity and try to get some credits from God. You won't get. Because your inside was all shaky, restless, and angry and upset and whatever, emoting all the time. So you were not really doing anything properly. It is not spiritual. This is what I was meaning by saying those who are so involved right now, some of them have taken it very easily because they have absorbed these teachings from the earlier times. They are able to undertake all these very, very intense activity, yet they are very steady on the inside. But there is one more set of people who did not imbibe these teachings earlier, but nevertheless they have to perform actions now. They are the ones who are shaking. Their hearts dry up, they feel very dull, they feel very burdened by everything, they feel they have lost their way, all kinds of confusion starts in their head. Why? Because they have not absorbed this. So action is very dangerous, it's a double-edged sword. If it's not done with the spiritual bent of mind, it can cut you. Only when you develop this absolute spiritual bent of mind, the steadiness within, that you are really doing whatever you're doing which will lead you to spiritual goals, to the spiritual end. Otherwise, actions can confuse us. Then there are people, left, right, center, they keep speaking. Little one shloka they know, they want the whole world to know that they have learned this shloka. And they become self-appointed or self-anointed gurus and jnanis. Haven't I seen so many? From our ashram only I have seen. Many people after COVID learnt a little bit and left, saying my work is calling me, my people are waiting. I said, okay, where are you? No, now I have to spread this. Then go. Because otherwise they were calling everybody here and giving them gyan. And people were saying, who is this? All the time calling us and telling. I said, then you better find a way out and you preach to those who are willing to listen. And that is how. After some time when things didn't go right, can I come back? I said, no, you don't. Your work was calling you, your mission was waiting, your devotees were. So please go ahead and do it. I don't want you. Some are like this because they are hyperactive. They want to go on speaking. Whatever little they know, they want to go on prattling about it. And why are they doing? Not to enable somebody else in their spiritual path. It is just to show off It is that rajas in them which is driving that speech. And they want to go on lecturing, have more satsangs and go and give more lectures on many things. And they keep on reading books and books and books. They are always under great pressure to go and go on saying things. I've seen some of them also. They started their YouTube channels, Instagram channels, and God knows what all. I asked them once, have you understood? Yes, I have understood. I have experienced the self. I said, the symptoms don't look like that, but anyways, if you think so, so be it. Because my analysis is not so. But they will get upset. You think you are the only one who can realize the self? You think we are some lower beings? You think we are not so? I said, okay, you have realized the self. I agree. As Buddha said was, don't argue with fools, because they will drag you down to their level and beat you with their experience. Because fools can argue in any way. They have no head and tail. So if you try to drive some sense home, it won't work. In fact, they will drag you to their levels and they will beat you with their experience, it seems. Because they're used to arguing like this. We are not used to. So I give up. I say, truly, God bless you, go ahead like that. But what I realized that these people are just passionate about going on lecturing. That is their, whatever, the itch in a way. They can't sit quiet. So there are people who put their speech to work, so much work, unnecessary. And there are some gossip mongers also, I know, whose only job is go room to room, carry gossips. And if they have not gossiped for the day, their food won't digest. And they won't get sleep. I know them, especially this side of the hall. They just can't keep quiet. Something, whatever comes to them, they have to say it out somewhere. Ek story hai. When I was small, we heard this story. The barbers are known for gossips, you know that. In India, barbers are known. I don't know if it's the way outside as well. But they are the ones who carry gossips from house to house because they cut these people hair. And while cutting the hair, they'll keep chatting and get a lot of things, juicy stuff out of them. Then they'll go to somebody else's house and start the conversation. I just did a haircut for such a person. He said this. What do you think about it? They get them to start speaking. I am warning everybody, if anybody comes here who tries to make you speak, run away from there, because this fellow is a gossip monger, he's a scandal monger. He is the one or she is the one who is going to spoil your name and name of everybody else. At the end, she will plead innocence. What do I know? I had nothing. I just told what was the truth. I had no intentions. They will try to plead innocence at the end. I have seen many of them like that. So beware of such people who try to get things out of you. And there are few symptoms I'll tell you. How do you know such people are? They'll appear to be very friendly and very interested in your highest well-being. They appear to be your well-wishers. But then they are well-wishers to 20 others around whom they go to. After they finish with you, they'll go to the next fellow whom they have kept in their list of things. That is first. Overtly sweet, overtly nice, overtly kind, and overtly concerned about you. Run away from them. These people are fake. They are here to get gossips out of you and spoil your name also. Run away from such people first, who try to appear to be very, very kind and interested and concerned about you. So much concerned that they just can't bear it unless you are happy. These are all nonsense. First symptom. Second symptom, they will try to get things out of you and try to take your opinions about not events or ideas, about people. The moment they start talking about people, run away from them. Because they are not interested in adding value to anything or anyone. They just want gossip, pure, juicy gossip. The other day he said, great minds discuss ideas. Ordinary minds discuss events. Cheap minds discuss people. So these are cheap minds. They'll come to discuss people. You know that, sir? You know what happened? Cut them off then and there. I do not want to know. I don't need to know. Please leave. The moment they discuss people, stop it there. First, they are overtly nice, kind, and seemingly concerned about your welfare, but that is Ativinayam Dhurta Lakshanam. 2, they would try to discuss people. What happened, how he is or how she is, what he did, what she did. Cut it off there. Because today it is about somebody they're speaking to you, tomorrow it will be about you, they'll be speaking to somebody else. In your foolishness and your stupidity, you would have spoken out all those things, thinking somebody to vent my feelings out to. No, keep it to yourself, because they are not going to use it for any good cause. They are only going to carry all this and spy on you and take out on others, and they'll spread all this gossip around. That is their habit. That is what gives them the kick. I said, no, tamasik, rajasic, buddhi people. That is what interests them. What can you do about them? I call them as house flies. They can sit on the sweet today and tomorrow on garbage also. And they are okay with both. That is their mind. They are very cheap-minded. So don't ever allow anybody who comes to discuss people with you. Show them the door. But if at all you can give them, I tell them, you shut your mouth and do something better in life than gossiping. There were people like that. There were some students. One of them was horrible. His only job was go room to room, collect information, then pass it on, and then try to send those information to me. Say, you know how many people are talking against you, how many people are not happy with you. And I one day caught him and cut him off, saying that you don't have to tell me all this. Don't try to be my savior. After all, a 8th, 9th class fellow, but roaming around the whole place and made friends with the senior most Tyagajivis to the junior most boys, to the teachers, devotees, doctors, nurses, everybody. He went round and round and round and round, collected so much information, and then tried to make them feel that he is so concerned that he is only telling. And of all the things, he tried to trap me by saying, I am so concerned about you that I want to tell you what people talk about you. And then I gave him left, right, center and kicked him out of the school, saying that I have given you several years to improve. You haven't improved a bit, not a tad. Only job is gossiping around. So I told, no need, you don't even tell me what people think of me or say about me, nor you are supposed to be here to collect more information. Very, very clever these people are. Bubukshis. They love this juicy, worldly stuff. And hyperactive. They might not be gossipers, let us say. They may not be overthinkers. But they will unnecessarily do things. If they sit quiet, they will go mad. That is what it is. And they'll turn everybody mad around them. They have to keep doing something. So this is impossible for them to just sit quiet. If you tell them 10 minutes meditation, not possible. In meditation also they'll be thinking, moving, restless. They just can't sit quiet. That is their nature. These bubukshus are like that. So what does this Atma Jnana do to them? When they find the company of a guru or guide, it demands that their nature changes from hyperactivity to moderate, necessary activity, from hyper speaking to only when there is necessary, otherwise generally silent. From hyper-reactive and thinko type people to absolutely steady mind without much of thoughts. No, this is not their nature. They find it very uncomfortable to be like that. That is why they give up. What does it say? Tattva bodho ayam ataha tyakto bubukshabihi. They give up the pursuit of the self, this atma bodha or tattva bodha. This knowledge, when Guru speaks to them, they don't want it. They want to run away from there. So, because the previous shloka said, no, only people with sattva buddhi can understand this knowledge. This kind of buddhi people, even if they sit in a class, an Ashtavakra class, or sit in front of me, they don't get anything. And because it demands that their nature changes from hyperactivity to moderate or no activity, they can't bear it. They can't adjust with these changes. So they want to run away. That is the nature of these people, he says. And you compare, you think of people whom you might have met like this. They can't sit quiet. I keep telling them, your only punishment is you have to sit quiet. That is the only punishment. Because they just can't. Your only punishment is today do nothing. Just be in your room, read this book and do nothing. That is hell for them. Like that I tell them, don't think of anything, sit and meditate, calm your mind. They just can't. Because their nature is like that. Gunaha guneshu vartanta. All these gunas inside them, the rajas guna drives them. So for rajasic people, it's very difficult to understand this sattvic knowledge of the self. They rather give it up because they feel, what is this? I have become lazy, I didn't do anything whole day. What is this? I have become dull and inert, I haven't thought of anything today. What is this? I have become dumb or my tongue is not working or what? I haven't spoken a word today. They feel they are somebody else now. So they feel it's so discomforting they run away. That is why many people go for these satsangs. Nowadays it's a very fashionable thing to go for 10 days retreats in some of these places where you pay nicely through your nose, eat saltless, spiceless, cheap food, and then you wear some coarse, rough, rugged cotton or linen, sleep on straw mat. No, they're making good money, these gurus. Imagine for all these, the charge would be nothing. If I don't have to give you bed to sleep on, one straw mat, if I don't have to give you proper clothes to wear, just some loose fitting linen, which is the cheapest cloth available, if I don't even have to put salt, sugar and spice in your food, just boil things and give it to you, that's the cheapest food I can offer. Yet I can charge you a bomb for the retreat. It's like, I don't know, 800, 900% profit model this is. And it works. Fools go. Attend all these retreats, thinking that they'll attain something out of it. But how long that would be? 10 days. 11th day they will run away. 10 days also they hang around because they paid for that. On the second day they want to go away, but then they can't because they have paid for it. So for the sake of money, to get the paisa vasool, they will not go. But 11th day, the first hour of the morning when they are relieved, they run out like prisoners who have escaped the prison. Why? Because their inside is not this. On the outside they try to be like this. And from 11th day till the next 355 days, they will be like this only. And suddenly one day they will feel, oh, this year's fashionable retreat we have not undertaken. All the other celebrities have attended, my friends and everybody, I must also go. Just show off. Do they gain anything out of those retreats? Nothing. Because they don't change from inside. Only external changes they make. But inside is the same. Hyperactive, hyper thinking, hyper. So they again go back and restart the same old thing. So they don't change. That is why Ashtavakra is actually satirically, sarcastically commenting that this is the real reason why people don't come to the spiritual path. Because their rajasic gunas which make them hyperactive, highly vocal and too much of thinking, they can't give up this easily. Their nature is like that. That is why when people come here, many people from outside, especially those who are coming for the first time, they come from a very competitive world outside, where you have to be louder than the others to be heard. You have to be more active than the others to be seen. You have to think ahead of others to beat them. That is the way the world works every time. You are continuously active. If you are not active, you will lose it out. So these people, when they come here, they suddenly are like, shifted into a different zone altogether, dimension. Everybody is smiling, everybody is soft, everybody is quiet, everybody is so very relaxed. They feel, is this even real? Is this even real? They feel very, very uncomfortable. And they say, I wish I could stay here forever. I wish I can get. I tell, I'll give you a room, stay here forever. Oh, no. What happened is I have businesses there, my wife is the children. All these fake requests. I'm like that. I also enjoy, take a dig at them. When they come and say, Swamiji, just give me a small place in this little ashram. I would stay here, I think I'll be very happy. I said, all done. I already have a room ready. Come, stay. Next day they will disappear because that's not their real nature. They simply say when they see things here, they get a little influenced and say things. Similarly, a sattvic person cannot survive in that world outside. Will be fish out of water. Many of our children think that, it's a great world outside, we will do some great things and all that. We landed there because their nature is not like that. The dog-eat-dog type of world. So they feel so uncomfortable, they go on acting for some time, but how long can you live a fake life? In a few years, they figure it out, there is so much of stress, this midlife crisis starts because they don't know what they're doing, why they are doing. They're not happy doing it. And then they dump all the thing and run back to the ashrams. That leads to divorces and broken families and God knows what all. Why? Because that was not their true nature. The true nature comes in later. I always say when you are finding people in your life, be it friends or family, be careful. Don't just go by your first instincts. No, take a calculated, analyzed, and very well thought of approach. Because looks can be deceiving. In the beginning, you look at, you fall for them, you just want to get married. But after that, when their thoughts don't match, their qualities don't match, their ways of life don't match, there is so much of conflict. And then you go on living an artificial life for the sake of children or for the sake of society and reputation. But after some time, it becomes so burdensome that you either commit suicide or go mentally deranged, or you run away from the family, or you give divorces and break the family apart. This is a very common thing. Why so many divorces are happening? It was never before like that. In India, we all had a process of marriage. We matched the horoscopes, we matched the gunas, we matched their family backgrounds, their so-called professions, traditions, customs, because it's not about two people marrying, it's about two families coming together. Now, all should be comfortable in it. So marriage is between two families, not just two people. And that is why so much thought had to go into it. And people used to go on looking for the right match, and finally, not that divorces didn't happen then, maybe it happened there too, but very little. Compare it with today's times, it's horrible. Why? Because they are of one nature, they are trying to be like Kauva chala hanski chal, akhir bhula apni chal. That is how one phrase in Hindi. It says the crow tried to act like a swan and forgot how to even act like a crow later. That is the idea. Swadharme nidanam shreyaha. It's better to die doing your own thing than copying somebody else. Paradharme bhayavaha. So the idea is that these worldly people, desirous of the world, the moment they come to a class of Atma Jnana, what happens to them? They get fed up, they get bored, they get irritated, they get frustrated and want to run away. I'm sure some of in this room also might be people like that. But out of my fear, they're still sitting. Initially, they're like, I don't like it, I don't like it. I always say, you don't like it, I know. But the only way I can teach you the spirituality is to be persistent, to continuously make you feel the taste for it. As yesterday I told, taste for God should be developed. That doesn't happen just like that. Your tongue is used to the world. Suddenly I want to change your taste and make you feel good. God is tastier. It doesn't happen like children when we do Annaprashna. They don't like the food. They want milk only. But slowly we change their habits. Mother consistently persists and changes their habit. Like that, I am here like that mother, trying to change everybody's habit. And what is my trick? I give free education. That is the incentive why you come here. Otherwise, you think these medical students want to learn Ashtavakra Gita? No way. Because it is free medical education, they are sitting here. The moment it was a charged education, they would not have sat here at all. So imagine to teach you spirituality to what extent we are going. Taking upon all the burden of your education and life just so that I can keep you in a spiritual class and improve you from where you are. Otherwise, you would never do it on your own unless life gives you terrible time. Then you turn towards God. That virakti will happen. Somebody deceives you, you have a lot of failures and setbacks, things don't go your way, then you will come to God. That's what we do. But to make sure that you don't end up in such a situation, beforehand itself, all this training is being given. And all this education being free or whatever other facilities being made free is only toward this one end, that gives me some kind of control over things in which I can help you change your nature from bubukshus to mumukshus. It is a long process, and for that many years we have to keep you and make you develop a taste for God. If you stay here for 6 months, 3 months, you won't develop. You may temporarily develop, but again revert back to your old ways. That's very common. So stay long enough. When 100 days were there, I insisted that some people, you have to stay for 100 days. Can I come in the first 10 days, last time? No. This is once in a lifetime. You be here for all 100 days, change your nature once for all. They generally say if something is done continuously, consistently for a certain period of time, then it becomes your second nature. It becomes your habit. So I'm trying to develop this into your habit, to be interested in godly things, spiritual things, to develop this taste for God, to become like this, the jnanis, who speak only when necessary, who think only as much as necessary, who do only when it is necessary. Unnecessary action, thought and speech is not their way, which is the way of the worldly people. Had been like when we were small, we used to go for these small marriages and functions people call. I can't sit in that room. If these 10 ladies get together and they start talking, and what is the discussion? I have noticed that. Are they talking about some Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana, or Bhakti? No. All gossips about which lady is doing what, how much money they have made, which jewelry, who is wearing, who is having affairs with whom. Nonsense. All these marriages, parties and clubs. What are they? Just idle gossips, and that too cheap gossips about people. Not even some good gossip about some idea or like a conference or a conclave where you come together to discuss some great ideas. No. Simply gossiping on and on and on. Relentless gossip. So I used to get fed up. So I used to tell them, I'm not going to any of these marriages and parties. She would say, no, we have to maintain relationships. We have to live in the society. I told, you don't like them, then why do you go? But we have to keep good relations because we have to live amongst them. I told, that may be your pressure, but I don't want to go. Because what are we doing there? It's all nonsense. So that was my way. So this is what I'm saying. Like oil and water, they don't mix. People who are worldly versus people who are spiritual, they don't mix. The nature will change if you stay long enough in the company of the right people, and you have to force yourself to be in the company of the right people. Your mind will resist. If we say it is boring, it is frustrating, it is not nice, it is something, but you have to keep forcing, like we put children in the schools, no? They cry on the first day, I want to go home. They make a big ruckus out of it, but the parents don't take them out of school, nor the teachers let them go home. They insist that the child stays. After 5, 10, 15 days, maybe a month, the child adjusts and now he makes friends with the teacher and the other classmates, and now he's happy in the school. Which parent has taken back the child from the school because he cried on the first day? No parent has done that, if they are good parents. Likewise, you have to train your mind like a child in the school. I don't like the company of Sattvic people. I don't like this calm and quiet and peace and serenity. I want activity. I want gossipers. I want scandal mongers. Train the mind. No, that is not the right way. This is the right way. Stay in the company of the right people. Stay in the company of the good people and change your nature and habits. And that requires a lot of effort. But I'm making it easy because you have an environment where most of the people are good. Most of the people are kind and spiritual. And you have no other worries of life here. What is the compulsion? If another student says, I have to work part-time because I have to pay my fees, so please allow me to go work in a coffee shop or sell newspapers or things like that. I told you, don't have to do that. You can full-time be here and focus completely on what is being taught. Don't worry about it, because I know students who work, other countries it is very common. In India it may not be that common. In India, children all believe that parents have to somehow feed them, look after them. Abroad, parents, almost show them the door when they are 13, 14. Saying, find your own feed, find your own money and study. And we'll see you once in a while. That is how it is. Even animals don't keep their children beyond a certain age. They push them out of the den or push them out of the nest, saying you learn to fly and find your own food. You can't be on us for the rest of our lives. Only in India, parents take care of children. Even if the children become 60 years old and parent is 40, 80 years old, they still are with parents. That's a different culture, too much attachment. But you have to train yourself. You have to train yourself to get out of your comfort zones. So here in this institution, all these arrangements are made only to make your spiritual journey easy. And no excuses left. This is the reason why I can't be spiritual. No, there is no excuse. What excuse can you give me? Absolutely no. So that is the reason why so much effort has been put to grow you spiritually. If you think you have only gone here to get a degree, you have not understood. Degree will happen. But mainly the effort that I demand is on the spiritual path, because you have to become a good human being. After that, all the work that you do will be good. Otherwise, you will be like these people, hyperactive, hyper-talkative, hyper-thinking, and never at peace, never at rest. That is not your true nature. So this is what happens. Like they say, mukam karoti vachalam. When Guru's grace descends on you, dumb starts speaking, they say. Pangum lagayate grim. That lame starts walking and climbing mountains. But Atma Gyan does the reverse. Vachalam karoti mukam it does. Those hyper-talkative people suddenly become silent. Many of you must have gone home in the holidays, parents would say, what happened to you? You hardly talk. And you were not like that before. They would have said these things to you. Only for the first 2 days. Third day onward you started talking, I know. So that was no use. Only 1 or 2 days you behaved as if you have come from some Sattvic place and you have a halo on your head or something like that. But third day you all reverted to your old nature, no? That is what I am saying. It is so difficult to change the nature of human beings. So difficult. It takes so much of effort to protect their learning and purity. So this idea that continuously we work in this world, one day we tell because we have to earn our food, earn our living, earn our this, we have to be like this. What is the other choice? So those excuses also have cut off, saying in this environment you don't have to do that. Don't worry about your survival, yoga, kshema, everything is taken care of. Ananyas chintayantah. Continuously meditate on this truth. And yoga kshemam vahamiham. I will look after the rest. Don't worry about the rest. What better opportunity can you ever get in life to grow spiritually? Nowhere. If you don't develop interest in it, even after being here, who can help you? God also cannot help you. So try to be more conscious of this amazing opportunity and try to change your nature from the bubukshus who are only desirous of the world to mumukshus who are desirous of God. And world will happen. World is the shadow of God. Once you get the real coconut, you also get the shadow coconuts. So don't run behind the shadows. That is the idea. We go to the 4th shloka, which is on page number 199. You can read all these other explanations. 4th shloka says, Na tvam deho, na te deho, bhokta karta nava bhavan, Chidruposi sada sakshi nirapekshaha sukham chara. How beautiful. He says, this is similar shloka he had spoken earlier, Janaka had spoken, naham deho name deho, he had told. So again Ashtavakra is kind of re-emphasizing the saying. He says, natvam deho, you are not the body. Oh, that we know, we are the soul. Body is also not yours, he says. Body is also not yours. Does the body listen to us? Don't grow fat, don't grow old, don't grow bald. Doesn't listen. It does its own thing. So it is not yours. If it is yours, then you should be able to control it, right? Did you choose how you should look, how you were born, what kind of nose you should have? No. It came to you because your parents gave you that. And you can't argue and complain about it. That is how you are, fair or dark or tall or thin, whatever you are. The body was just given to you. You never had any ownership. You didn't have any control over it. It does its own thing. It grows old and dies despite you not wanting it to. So first you are not the body, because we have realized by now that there is this awareness inside me, which is my true nature. Mind and body are the superimpositions. All this theoretically we know now. But it says the body is also not yours. Don't be over possessive about it. Don't do over care for the body. Yeah, take care of it as it is necessary. It's like a rented house. How much would you decorate it? How much money do you want to spend on a rented house? Only so much which is comfortable. You want to spend your life savings to renovate the rented house because you know you'll have to leave all these things behind and go. So you would not spend money on a rented house. Like that, you won't spend money on your rented cars. You will only take care of it, only put the fuel as necessary and maintain as much necessary to use the car. You are not going to buy some new leather seats and change the Stephanie or change the look and feel, change the color and spend a fortune on it. You are not going to do that. If it is your car, you will do all this. Why? Because it will stay with you. But why would you decorate somebody else's house which you have rented? Or why would you spend money on changing the looks of somebody's car that you have leased? You won't do that. Any intelligent fellow wouldn't do that. So if you are intelligent, know that this body is given to you on rent. And it will be taken away at some point in time. So only treat it with that kind of interest, as if you are treating somebody else's thing. So spend only so much time, energy and whatever interest in the maintenance and upkeep of the body. Like a rented house or a rented car. Beyond that, don't unnecessarily invest in it. That is what it is saying. Imagine those who do not believe that there is another lifetime. For them, this body is everything. How much money they spend. Billions of dollars worth cosmetic industry has come up. Not just women's, men's also. Men's grooming is the next big thing, big wave. Billions and billions of dollars worth industry it is. To look good, to feel good, to have shape, to have abs, to have this, to have that. This whole fitness business, the looks and cosmetic business has just grown leaps and bounds. It clearly is the indication of the amount of ignorance in the society, that's all. The more these businesses grow, gambling or trading in stocks, like traders, not investors, I'm saying traders, gamblers, online gaming, or drinking, what you call pubs and bars, or cosmetics and beauty industry, or fitness gyms and such industry. The more it grows, the more it indicates the fall in the societal value system. This is devolutionary because we are putting so much of effort and money behind these things. It's like buying things for somebody else's house. That is not necessary because we are living only for a short while. Why would you decorate it? You won't. Why you would waste your money and time on that? You won't. But we are wasting that kind of money. We are borrowing to get plastic surgeries done. We are borrowing to go to gyms. We are borrowing to buy cosmetics. We are borrowing to gamble. We are borrowing to enjoy this world. Why it is whole world is just borrowings and borrowings and borrowings. When I was in the US, there were huge hoardings in Washington DC because that's the capital, and a lot of the parliament and all sits out of it. US has got that time it was $33 trillion of debt. It has got $25 trillion economy or 30 trillion, whatever it might be. It has much more than that debt. It was said on an average an American carries a debt of $100,000 on his head. So they were demanding, the activists were demanding, what is the solution? Parliamentarians come up with the solution, things like that. And I was wondering why this so much of debt on public in the US. All because of this only. Bigger houses, bigger cars, luxurious lifestyle, so much of buying, consumer driven. When I was studying that time, US economy was going down, so everywhere it was about we have to consume more. That was the message from the president. Please consume, buy. I don't have money to buy. Don't worry, we'll give money. You buy. We'll give you at cheap interest. Buy. Left, right, and center, people bought 3, 4 houses, 5 cars, foreign holidays, to anything and everything, travel around the country, buy hotel rooms, buy this, buy that. And suddenly the whole US looked so rich. It looked like, my God, such a rich country. But deep inside, there is a rot of trillions of dollars of debt. Show off it is. And then once the inflation went up, because people are buying, so cost of goods are going up, then it's becoming unaffordable. Now to control that, you have to take the money away from people because it's unnecessary they're buying. Now they want to control the inflation. Then what do? Increase the interest rates. Now all the people who have bought these houses on loans, their EMIs have doubled and tripled suddenly overnight. And they don't know what to do now because they're all bankrupt overnight. All this borrowing and enjoying is just, the party is over. And then led to another big downfall. How many people lost jobs, companies closed down, the bubble burst. So many people were in trouble. But have we learnt our lessons? No. One more cycle, cut the rates, give money to people, they buy. As there was a joke, it says when people are buying things that they don't need with the money that they don't have, economies are growing. We don't need that, but we still buy that because some bank is ready to lend us. And telling enjoy while time is there. That was the whole thing about, I learned this lesson hard way because I was working in the bank that time. It was 2008, the subprime crisis hit the world. And this was all about borrowing only. Companies like Lehman Brothers, to name it, Merrill Lynch's, to so many of these. Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, all these companies were in heavy lending, they just collapsed. They disappeared from the earth. So the jobs disappeared of those employees, their families were destroyed. And the real estate market came nose diving. People had bought 3 houses. It was not even worth the value of one house anymore, but they had loans to pay. What a mess it was. That is the first time I first-hand experienced what greed does to the world. And the ripple effects of US market were felt even in India, the tremors of it. Indian markets collapsed. Indian people were bankrupt. All their life savings was just washed away overnight. And nobody knew what is the end to this trouble, how to control this. And then, another committee was put, the same thing, inject liquidity, give money back, cut the interest, same drama started again. And what happened? The borrowing became more and more, and debt started burgeoning. And now today, every human being in the US at least has $100,000 of debt. It means everybody carries 80-90 lakh rupees of debt on their head. They don't even earn that much a year. But this is all from this idea, Deham, I am Deha. And this Deha needs to be enjoying the life. It should eat well, it should wear well, it should go here, there, see, experience, enjoy. This whole idea is driving all these economies. But India, I am told that up till 17th century, before it was colonized by the Britishers, it was one of the largest economies in the world. It contributed 1/3 of the total trade in the world. It was a rich country and also spiritual. There was not a single beggar on the streets. How was it possible that India was rich and yet spiritual? Because you see, go back to your great-grandfathers. They had wealth, but they were not splurging it. They knew how to control their senses and mind. Just because you have money, they didn't want to go and throw it in on wasteful things. Never they did that. They lived very simple lives, or very simple. You couldn't even guess that they were so rich. Because that was the spiritual side of our culture. And many ancient cultures and civilizations were like that. Even they were wealthy, they never showed off their wealth. The cheap exhibitionism was not there. Because they knew that the deep philosophy that after all this is just the body, this is just a Maya, it will disappear one day. What's the point in over-engaging yourself with any of these things? But their own grandsons, when they figured it out, they had so much of wealth. What, my grandfather was a fool, he never spent this, let me spend it off. And within no time, they were bankrupts. The generation next did that. Easy gotten money is ill-gotten money. So therefore, all those fellows got spoiled. And India became a bankrupt country, a very poor nation. Of course, colonial things did that to it, but we did it to ourselves also. We saw the Western thing, it looked very nice. I also want to have a suit like that. I also want to have a car like that. They didn't know that all that is looted and borrowed money, that is not their earned money. But we spent all our earned money in trying to enjoy the pleasures of the world as it was glorified and, larger than life kind of a seen by the Britishers and the colonial forces. So we fooled ourselves we got fooled. We started going to parties, wearing what they wore and ate how they ate, lived how they lived, and lost all our wealth in the process. The same thing continues even today. Children, youngsters, borrow money, cheap lending apps have come up. They'll give you money, even 200 rupees they'll give you at a press of a button. And then at a high interest, what cost it is. When I was working in the bank, I was asked to open the accounts of one BPO, this business process outsourcing companies. And all those people, there were kids, 10th pass, 11th pass, 12th pass or fail, I do not even know, but they all had jobs. These are call centers and small processing units. I was much more qualified than them. I had double postgraduate, I was a gold medalist, but I had to stand in front of them because they were customers. And they were opening accounts and get them to sign. And those fools did not even know how to write a proper word because they had not had any education. But they all were going to get salaries from next day. And I was watching what will they do with it. Their salary would get credited at 10 a.m., let us say 10,000 rupees. By 2 a.m., only 300 rupees or 200 rupees will be left. 9,700 rupees would have disappeared from the account within 2-3 hours. And I watched this trend because that was the account I was managing. I said, so my manager would say, what is this terrible account you have opened? They hardly keep any balance in the account because banks earn out of the balance that is lying in the accounts, right? These people don't keep any money at all. We have to keep servicing them. It's a cost to us. All those accounts were non-profitable. And what to do? They said, you give them credit cards so that some money will make out of credit cards. We gave them credit cards because that comes with the salary account as a complimentary offer. All their credit cards were used up within the first month, the entire limits. And they were not repaying because they had no money. So now we have to engage recovery agents, further loss to the bank. So I got it left, right, center for opening a terrible salary account relationship where people don't keep balance. The moment salary gets credited, within few hours, it's all withdrawn. And because the zero balance accounts, we can't even force them to keep balances. And then credit cards are all fully exhausted and they're not repaying it. And bank is making losses on it. And they're asking me, you are the manager of this account, this company, go talk to the CEO, go talk to the CFO, get them to... I said, I cannot do anything because these children just don't know how to use money. They suddenly become rich. And they have already spent the money even before the salary has come. In the name of salary that will come, they have already committed, borrowed, finished enjoying life. And then you end up with that. And then what happens when credit card fellows, recovery agents started chasing them, which bank would do naturally, it is people's money we are giving them. They left the jobs and quit the company and disappeared. No address. And we had to go to the CEOs and tell your employees, oh, that fellow quit last Saturday. But you have to inform us. Oh, he should have informed you, didn't inform you. I said, no. What is his new address? We don't know because these BPOs are like that. They'll hire and fire overnight. I said, then we made a huge loss. So I went back to our banking people and said, this is what has happened. But what I realized, why it happened is because aham deho, I am the body, and body needs new dresses. Every Saturday I need to go to party. I need to watch movies. I need to eat out. Do you have the means to do it? No. But Bangalore's distractions and the charm and the glitter, these young minds, only 16 years old, 17 years old, jumping into this kind of thing. And then they're carrying, girlfriends and boyfriends. Once you have little money, then you want to make a friend and take them on to a movie or to eat out. I saw the whole company's employees were ruined. Within a few months, we had to shut down, close down all the accounts and cut our losses, saying, we don't want to deal with your company because while you might be making profits by doing BPO work, we are not making any profits giving services to you because your employees are horrible. They don't keep any money, they don't have any money. And they're always running from, because naturally the recovery agents will trace them down. So they'll keep running, changing their identities, changing their phone numbers. Another thing I will give you a tip to everybody, especially boys and girls. If somebody is changing their phone numbers frequently, don't trust such a person. He's only changing because recovery agents and other such agencies are chasing him. Many people are there. Every time I get a message, I don't recognize whose message is there. It will be the same fellow, but from a new number. In a year, they'll change 5 numbers. It's because they've given number to somebody whom they don't want to be in touch with anymore. Or some bank's recovery agent is calling them continuously on that number. Or they haven't paid their bills, their landlords are calling, something. So these people who frequently change the numbers, they are those who, I haven't changed my number ever since I got my number. It is the same number. Many people advise me change because everybody knows your number. I said, let them know, but I wouldn't respond even if they write to me. But I noticed this another trend. These fellows who want to, basically they are on a run. Basically they are on a run. Because they're being chased by the people whom they don't want to. And so they keep changing their numbers, addresses, and identities. These are those. Don't ever trust them. First tip I gave you about those gossipers who come to your rooms and make you feel that they are your best friends. Then they get things out of you. And then they go and take that news and tell somebody else and make them also feel the same and ruin your name and reputation. Stay away from such people. Second, those people who often change their phone numbers or their phones also because they don't want the data to be available. They keep destroying old phones, buying new phones. Stay away from them. Who cannot keep a phone and a phone number with him or her, what will he keep you and your relationship with her? Get rid of such fake people in the society because our kids don't know. A lot of them are very innocent. They fall into this very quickly. So first is that if you are spiritually grounded, then you won't anyway fall into it. You know that this is not the reason why I'm here. I'm not here to chase the pleasures of the body or relationships and friendships and enjoyment. So that problem only does not happen. But if you still have those lurking desires somewhere, there is a good chance that you will fall into the trap of this worldly maya. So he says, na tvam deho, na te deho, bhokta, karta, na va bhavan. Do not even be the doer and the enjoyer of everything. This we have heard before, I don't have to explain. You know that everything is being done through you. It's the divine who does. But when mind comes into the picture, which is your ego, then it destroys the divine plan. It kind of derails the whole plan and causes confusion. Many people said, but mind also is God's gift only. God is only given. I said, yes, but how do you use the gift? Knife is a gift, but how do you use it? No, but every thought is divinely ordained only. How can you attribute it to my doing? I said, if you have reached that self-realized state, you won't ask these questions to me. And if you have not reached, you better behave. That is the only way. Don't live here, and talk about there. That is not going to work. Here, now, what situation you are in, behave accordingly. The situation is you are not a realized fellow. You still are the doer and enjoyer of things. To better do the right things so that you enjoy the right things. Don't argue with me on that. No, everything is divinely driven. Why everything is destiny? Yes, only when you realize everything is that way. Otherwise, bad also that comes out of it, that also is your destiny. Accept it. You don't do that, right? People keep arguing like this. I tell them, okay, if you can accept both which is coming out, yes, God is also bad. God did bad things through you. Now you are suffering because of God's bad things. But that is also God. So what is your problem? Suffer. No, suffering time we don't want to complain. I didn't do it, God did it. And good things, I did it. Like the father who says, see, when the son wins a medal, look at my son, he has won a medal. When he fails in the exam, your son, look at it like you only. No brains. This doesn't work. So either you take this or that. But once you are firmly, you are firm in this understanding that you are not the body, it's just a vehicle, it is just a rented apartment, you will only treat it with that much interest and respect. You won't overtly dress it up, you won't overtly spend on it and try to do things to please the body. That would not happen to you. But we are still desirous of things of the body. It means we have not reached that state, right? That is why you have to be worried. So what are you if you are not the doer, enjoyer, everything? He says, Chidroposi. You are the Chit Rupa. Chit is this awareness, consciousness. That is aware of everything but is not entangled or touched by anything. Like the space in which everything exists, but space is free. The building may be a bound place, but the space itself is free. Like wind that carries fragrance from a garden or stench from a sewer. In both ways, it appears that wind is fragrant today or stinky tomorrow, but the wind is unaffected. The breeze is unaffected. It carries both as it comes to yadayat kartumayati is this way of life. So likewise, your chidruposi, you are the awareness consciousness. And if you think that you are, then you will not be entangled in the ideas of body and mind. That won't bind you anymore. It will be there, but as I said, you will treat it as if you are living in a rented apartment and you are going to live only for so long. So you respect it, you look after, you don't destroy and damage it, but at the same time you won't invest in it. That is the idea of this shloka. And chitruposi, you are the dweller, indweller, the awareness consciousness. Remember that Drigadrishya Viveka talks about it. If the object is seen, eye is the seer. If eyes are seen, mind is the seer. If mind is seen, witness consciousness is the seer, and nobody is there to see it because it sees itself. That is the idea. So when you keep practicing Digdrishya Viveka on a daily basis, this conviction will become stronger and stronger in you. Stronger and stronger in you. Whenever my mind gets pulled into thoughts or emotions or activities, this is what I apply. For that moment, I immediately cut off, distance myself and watch everything as if I am watching it outside me. There is awareness consciousness which is watching things, what thoughts are coming now, whom I am thinking about, what are the problems that I am thinking or discussing about. Everything becomes from a distance, you watch everything. That helps you to at least think correctly, not get emotionally attached. Otherwise, emotions are very difficult. Bhagavan used to say emotions are loose motions because you can't control them. If it comes, you just go. That is how emotions are. So stay away from emotions. Emotions can be overcome only by vichara. This analysis, this inquiry. What are these emotions for? Why am I getting emotional? What is the idea behind it? Why am I getting so carried away? Ask questions. The moment you start asking questions, it disappears. The emotions disappear because it is you realize it's futility. It's nonsense. It disappears. Bhagavan used to say, one story was there. It seems in the old times when marriages would happen, these people who are never invited, they'll go to these marriages to eat food. So when they go to the boys' side, they'll tell, I am from the girls' side and eat food. Then they'll go to the girls' side and say, I am from the boys' side and take gifts and eat food. Both sides they will enjoy. So it so happened that there was a man who came like this, who was doing this. So a few days people watched. They would ask, where are you from? Are you from boys or girls? I am from the boys' side. He'll tell in girls' camp. And the groom's camp, he'll go and tell, I am from the bride's side. And would eat on both the places. So one day the people of both the sides, they figured this out and they garroted him, caught him and inquired, which side are you from? Now tell, because both the sides are standing here. He ran away from the place, it seems. Like that, these emotions disappear when you start inquiring. Why this emotion is coming? Which side is it from? It is good for me, bad for me? What is influencing this? When you start asking questions, that emotion disappears. That is the best way to deal with emotions. You will realize half the time the emotions are nonsense. There is no head and tail, there is no basis, there is no foundation for it. Just an influence because of some company or some thought that randomly entered you. So ask questions, vichara. That is the idea of Sri Ramana Maharshi. You say, do vichara, Atma vichara. What is the Atma vichara here? I am Chidrupa. I am the awareness, consciousness which is witness to everything. I am not these things. I am a witness to these things. How can witness be the same as the thing? Not possible. If you are seeing, then what you are seeing is different from you. So if you are the seer, then the seen is different from you. It's as simple as that. So if you are the Chidrupa, then body, if you are able to watch your body, you are able to feel your body, you are able to experience your body, then you means body is different from you. That is the idea. If I can see this book, the book is different from me. If I can see my own emotions, if I can see my own thoughts, if I can see my own feelings, if I can see my own body, it means it is different from who I am. And that who I am is this Chidrupa, the eternal witness consciousness, Sada Sakshi. Witness. Sakshi means witness and Chit means awareness. So awareness, consciousness is the witness that I am. Nirapeksha, so become desireless. And Sukhi, Sukham Chara, and go about doing what you need to do, but with peace and happiness. Why? Because you are not affected, attached to it. When a doctor needs to operate on his own child, his hands would shiver because it is his child. But when he has to operate on somebody else's child, he is okay to do that. Why? Because he is not attached. He can see it as different from him. There is no connection, no relation, no emotions involved. So they can do their jobs better. But the moment you get attached because of emotions, my friend, my wife, my child, my car, my book, my clothes, you get very, very disturbed. You cannot think right. Only when you again come to the state of Sakshi Bhuta, then you can think correctly. So when you are emotional, please don't involve in any decision making. Emotions will always make you do the wrong things. So the moment you are angry, don't speak, they say. Because in anger, you don't know what you are speaking. When you are happy, don't promise, they say. Because in your happiness, you don't know what promise you are making, which you would be able to keep up or not. And when you are emotional, don't make decisions, they say. Because you will make a wrong decision. Invariably, you will make a wrong decision. Remember these another 3 good tips. When angry, don't speak. When happy, don't promise. And when emotional, don't decide. If you follow these simple tips, you will save yourself a lot of tragedy in life. Because mistakes happen only in these states, anger, emotions, or when you are too happy. Means all are emotions only of different nature. When you don't make any of these mistakes, that is the other thing that this Ashtavakra teaches us. So when you become nirapeksha, you have no expectations whatsoever from the body or from the relations of this body, or you don't have any doership, so there is no sense of enjoyership. You are nirapeksha. You are free from all expectations. And so you are happy. See, any expectation enters the head, it disturbs the mind. Howsoever small it is. I am coming to the hall. Swami should see me today. I must find a place that is in a way that he can see me. And I don't see you. The whole 2 hours of Ashtavakra Gita just goes above the head. Because your heart is bothered. Didn't see me, didn't see me, didn't see me, didn't see me. Who asked you to come with that expectation? You were supposed to come to the hall with the expectation that Ashtavakra Gita I should learn well and I go back as a better person than how I entered the hall. That's all should be your expectation. But you came with expectations of other kinds. So how do you deal with it? There was one fellow was there, these teenage issues are there. He was a good poet. He used to write very nice poems. And every time I found him sitting on this side of the red path, always he would be sitting here, a few years ago. And I would always think that he is very interested in seeing me. So that is why he somehow comes early, runs, fights, gets a place closer to the carpet so that he can see me when I come walking. But after some time, he wanted to quit the institutions. So I asked him what happened, what went wrong. He said, there was a girl who used to study here. She is quitting the institution, so I am quitting. I said, but when did you get interested in that? I thought you were always interested in watching me. He said, no, he used to sit there because from there he could see the girl on the other side of the hall. I was fooling myself thinking, oh, he's interested in having darshan. But he quit the institution. He was a very good fellow, but he could not control his emotions. He had got entangled in that. And the girl was also very clever. Somehow they knew that this fellow sits here and she would exactly sit where she would sit so that they can see each other. So all this happens inside Premamrutham hall. Don't I know that? But what I am saying is that's why all these elders have been made to sit in between. But then these screens are there, cameras are there. So how long can I go on dealing with it? I told you better behave yourself. What can I do about it? But people are like that. They come to this hall with 100 different expectations. I will be able to see Swami or Swami will see me or I will be able to meet that friend of mine or that country person, that something. And that keeps disturbing. They hardly pay attention to what is going on over here because their mind is elsewhere. So unless you become a Sakshi Bhuta, you develop this practice of Drigadrishya Viveka, it's very difficult to stay steady. It will keep pulling you into it. When I am confessing that even at this stage, because of the activity and people around me, I myself get sucked into emotions, then I have to pull myself out of it. Uddared Atman Atmanam. Nobody is spared. As long as you are in this world, you are not spared these emotions. The only thing that, as I said, you can learn from here is the maturity to deal with it. The ability to handle them. That's all you can learn. You can't wish them away. Then you should also run away from the society. But if you are in the society or engaged in anything, howsoever pure and charitable, even then emotions will come. Once in a while it will trouble you. At that point of time you have to practice this. Na kartasi na bhoktasi. That practice should, at that moment, it should click to you. If it doesn't click at that moment and you get carried away in the emotions, you will go off somewhere. And how does it click at that moment? Like many people say, they keep thinking, chanting Sai Ram so much that even in dream, if something goes wrong, they'll wake up and say, first word comes out of their mouth is Sai Ram. It's automatic. Like that, automatic alerts should happen in your mind. The moment you're emotionally getting dragged into it, you're not even realizing it, you're going away somewhere, immediately a bell should ring. Na kartasi, na bhoktasi, mukta evasi. If it's not ringing in your head, that bell, it's only ringing after you have damaged everything, what's the use? Alert should happen, like we have alarms for everything. When water table goes down in the tanks, immediately an alarm rings, it notifies the maintenance crew that water levels have come down, we have to refill the tanks, otherwise people will run out of water. Similarly, we have alarms for many things like this. Even women cook in kitchen, they have a pressure cooker. It has whistles. It tells you 3 whistles. Beyond that, if you don't put the flame off, it's going to burn the food inside the cooker. So there are mechanisms in place every time when you are drifting away or you are not careful. It should stop you from doing that. And what is the mechanism that you can set? What is the alarm that you can set? Continuously contemplate on these ideas. So it becomes a part of your nature. So anytime that mind is deviating from this right path, immediately the alarm will ring. Immediately the whistle will go off. It will tell you, enough, stop it here. Beyond this, it is not good. That will happen only if you are constantly, daily are setting the alarm. Daily asking God to help you. At that time when the weakness strikes, at that moment that alarm should ring, and that should immediately stop you from getting further involved in anything. So that alarm will happen only if you are constantly living in this idea, in this thought, in the company of the right people, and reading scriptures on a regular basis, spending time with God on a daily basis. If you don't do that, you are not going to really be able to stop it at the right moment. You will cross the line every time, and every time you cross the line, you suffer. So that is the idea, that till there is any desire for the body or anything that you can enjoy with the body, through the body, there will always be trouble. And the only way to get over it is to remember that you are the witness consciousness, witness to everything that is happening, and you are not the body, so don't get sucked into it. You stay distanced and do what needs to be done. Doing is not a problem. Doing it with wrong attitude is the problem. I have been saying that. Action by itself does not bind. The attitude behind the action binds. And the attitude is, I am the doer, so I am the enjoyer. That attitude binds. When you think action is being done, God is the doer, I am a witness consciousness to this action. Whatever hectic action also is okay, you will not be affected. As Vasishtha Ramayana says, samshanta sarva sankalpa ya shila antariva sthitihi jadya nidra vinirmukta sa swaswarupa sthiti smritaha. It means like the inside of the stone, your mind should be zero thoughts, no thoughts. Like inside of the stone has no thoughts. Like that, there is no thoughts inside your mind. So samshantam, sarva sankalpa, all ideas are gone. Your mind is absolutely steady like a piece of rock. And then Jadya nidra virimukta. It happens to us only when we are absolutely lazy or we are in deep sleep. We do experience that state of no thoughts. But generally it happens when you are highly lazy, we are unable to even bring ourselves to think. Aur abhi nahi soch sakte, baad mein aana. We do like that sometimes. I can't think right now, come later. That is one study, that is Jadya, means inertia. Or Nidra, in deep sleep you don't think. So if you can be awake and still be like that, like a piece of rock, without thoughts, as if you are in deep sleep, but you are awake and aware. That situation is called as your true nature. That is how Vasishtha Ramayana describes. And same thing it says, that when you become the Sakshi, witness, you become like that. Thoughts will come and go. Like outside the stone, so much is happening. Sun is shining, rain is falling, temperature is changing, animal birds are going, somebody is sitting on it. All that happens, but inside of the stone does not get affected by any of it. Outside things happen. Like that, for this Jnani, this yogi, the body will be engaged in actions of the world. It will do what needs to be done by that body. But you will not get attached or affected by it. This is the stage at which you really feel that you are the consciousness, witness, and you are not affected by any of these things. Such lofty state, can it happen to us? Yes, it happens. It does happen to people. It has happened to people. It is not theoretical. It is not some imaginary thing. It is real because people have experienced this. And those who have experienced, they are able to deal with the world in the right way without getting affected and attached to any of these things. So can we attain such a state too? Yes, everybody can attain that state. Kalena Atmani, with time, with efforts, not overnight, with efforts. And the efforts are this constant reminder of your nature, which is witness consciousness, unaffected by the doing and enjoying, and also detaching yourself from the consciousness, for this body consciousness, identification with the body, or the idea that this body is mine, so I must make good use of it, I must do this, I must do that. No, leave the body as it is, don't torture it. Don't torture it. That is what I am saying. That Brihadaranyaka says, when one realizes he is not the body, he is the self, why will he put body to any trouble? Because out of body he is not enjoying anything. These are all fake enjoyments. So why would he put his body? Ayam smiti asmi iti purushaha kim icchan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjarayet, it says. Why will he put body to this feverish action? Why would he torture the body? Let's go eat there, go there, meet them. Why would he do that to his body? Leave the body alone, poor thing. It's already doing a lot for you. All that you have eaten, it is digesting, is breathing, seeing, hearing. So much work is doing already. Leave it alone. Further torturing it to enjoy a little more and little more, eating so much that it cannot digest anymore, or putting it to such torture, not necessary, it says. Why? Because you know that is not you, and nor it is yours. So leave it as it is. That is the idea. That is why most of the rishis and jnanis, they stay away from over too much of action. And if I am telling you to still do action, it is with the attitude of na karta na bhokta. If you don't have that attitude, then that action is going to bind you and cause restlessness and frustration and anger and depression. All that will happen to you because you have not developed the right attitude. You are only interested in the action to keep yourselves engaged and entertained. That's all. It is some kind of a stimulation, a dopamine reaction, and a kick or an addiction. That's all. It is not real. It is not going to lead you to any spiritual good. So yes, be in the mission, work for the mission, work hard, but work with the right attitude. That is why unless you understand these things, you will be a bad missionary. You will actually be detrimental to the mission because you would have set a wrong example. You will go back every night and cry and complain to everybody around you, depress them also, create anxiety in them also, create negative atmosphere. You are not happy here doing what you are doing all the time. All the time you will be crying and complaining. You will create a negative atmosphere around you and even ruin the motivation of your younger generations. Why? Not because the action was wrong, not because the activity was, but because your attitude was wrong. You will spread negativity in the system. And that's another excuse the boys take, Once they are fed up with all the things they have done, they have got what they wanted, their education is over. They don't want, now they have desires for bigger things in the world. They want to go taste the world. Then they tell me, Swamiji, please relieve me from this job. I said, why? What happened? You stayed here for 10 years, you worked, you studied here, you were all happy, your parents had no money to educate you, we educated you. They told you, it is your child, you take care of him. I said, okay, I'll accept. What happened suddenly? He says, no, I am very negative nowadays. If I am staying in this ashram, I will make everybody negative around me. So for your good and your mission's good, you leave me. This is the excuse people have written to get rid of work here. I have gone through all kinds of things. That is what I am saying. Despite all these things, if I am still continuing this mission, I have to be a jnani. Others won't be able to continue this mission after all this. Who will continue? With so many backstabs, who will continue? Nobody will continue. They'll say, good riddance, I will not do anything, you go your way. I don't care. But no, others are there. For their sake, you have to continue. Why punish somebody for somebody else's mistake, I always say. So that is the idea. People will find excuse that their action here, the service, such a pure charity action also is causing misery to them. And action is not wrong, but their attitude, because they have not grown spiritually, what they are doing is rajas only, it is not sattva. And that is why they will suffer and then they will spread negativity. So don't get into that trap. And for that sake, develop spiritual bent of mind, develop this understanding of Ashtavakra, develop this understanding of the right attitude is what I insist. At least in charity you are doing good work, it is still a doable thing. Imagine people outside, they lie, they cheat, they deceive. That's the norm. What do they not do to get ahead? Forget about get ahead. Even to survive, you have to do these things. Tell me one person you pull out from a regular place outside. who is working for a company, not for himself, for a company or an organization. Tell me, just watch him from morning 6 to night 10 and give me in writing that he has not told one lie or not hidden one truth. Not possible. Either he would have hidden a truth so that he can get what he wants, or would have told a blatant lie to get what he wants. Not possible that somebody who works 10 hours a day in a city, in a competitive environment, has never told a lie or hidden a truth from somebody for his self's sake. Not possible. Every day they tell lies. Sir, I am on the way, 10 minutes from the office. Where are you? You are still at home. That's a lie, isn't it a lie? When you are not able to make it to the meeting, you say, traffic jam. There is no traffic. Don't you tell a lie? That's also a lie, or you hide facts. That also goes into your karma account. Don't say that it's a small lie. After all, what is the big deal? No, lie is a lie is a lie. It will go into your karma. And you will be lied to by somebody sometime. Small things I am saying. Why you did not finish this thing? Oh, my laptop crashed. That laptop never crashed. But you give excuses which nobody can check. It just was repaired this morning. I'll start now. But you are lying all the time. Or you lie, even worse lies, for the sake of a business deal or getting ahead of the curve or getting what new promotion. How many lies people do? All the time. Or just because you are obliged to say good things, you don't want to say, but you have to say it. How do I look today? Sir, you look damn good today. But you don't look good. How is my tie? Horrible, but it's nice. New fashion, new idea. You are bound to tell things which are not true because karta bhokta and not sakshi bhuta. So in a pure environment of service, at least you have better chances of learning these spiritual truths. In those places, there is impossibility. There is no possibility. And what excuse do you have, I tell them. Whoever comes to me and says, I can't learn, I can't understand, I tell, just give me a list of excuses. I think I have taken care of most of it, but if still something is beyond my knowledge, please let me know. We will try to take care of that as well. I have to earn money to feed my family, though it is not an excuse anymore. I have to pay fees, I have to go get no excuse there. What excuse do you have, I ask our people, that if in this environment you don't grow spiritually, where else you will grow? This is your chance, and seize it by all means and pay attention to the seriousness of what I am saying. Otherwise, why would now it is 68 days and 69 days today. Why would we go on without rest and respite, without a leave or a holiday? As I said, you all have taken some days off, some afternoons off, some mornings off. I haven't taken one. This is after a hectic trip from abroad that I came back. I haven't taken one day off, one afternoon off, 1 hour off, or one event off. None of these. Why so much of effort is being put? Because I'm so interested in your spiritual welfare. Because I know if you become like me, spiritually elevated, you can do magic. So much can be done. So many other people will benefit out of the compassion for all those who also can be benefited through all of you. All these efforts are being put. So you have to take it seriously. You have to take it seriously. Beyond just memorizing shlokas or winning quizzes, internalizing it, assimilating and practicing it is what I demand. Okay, he'll sing a song of Kuvempu. Again, I said Kuvempu was the great Rashtrakavi. It came also as a question yesterday. And this song is about Trinamapi. Tena vina Trinamapi na chalati. Without the will of the divine, nothing moves, not even a blade of grass moves. So be surrendered, that's the idea.
तेन विना तृणमपि न चलति 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 ममतेय बिडु हे मूढमना ममतेय बिडु हे मूढमना 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 तेन विना तृणमपि न चलति तेन विना तृणमपि न चलति रविगिल्लद भय शशिगिल्लद भय तारा निवहके इरद भया रविगिल्लद भय शशिगिल्लद भय तारा निवहके इरद भया निनगे तक बिडु अणुश्रद्धेय नीडु निनगे तक बिडु अणुश्रद्धेय नीडु निन्नने नैवेद्यव नीडु निन्नने नैवेद्यव नीडु तेन विना तृणमपि न चलति तेन विना तृणमपि न चलति ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೈ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೈ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕಂಠನಾದ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೈ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕಂಠನಾದ ಸಚ್ಚಿತ್ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಆನಂದ ವಿರ शक्तिया आनन्दविरलु सच्चिच्छक्तिया आनन्दे विषाद बिडु ಏತಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನಗೆ ವಿಷಾದ ತೇನ ವಿನಾ ತೃಣಮಪಿ ನ ಚಲತಿ ತೇನ ವಿನಾ ತೃಣಮ ಬಿಡು ಹೇ ಮೂಢಮನ ಮಮತೆಯ ಬಿಡು ಹೇ ಮೂಢಮನ 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 ತೇನ ವಿನಾ ತೃಣಮಪಿ ನ ಚಲತಿ ತೇನ ವಿನಾ ತೇನ ವಿನಾ ತೇನ ವಿನಾ तृणमपि न चलति सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय नित्यशुद्धनिर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतिका आश्रितकल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी वो साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगल हारति अंदुको मंगल हारति अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय